Okay, we're live. If the board can make sure you got your microphones on, please, we'll get started. Good evening. The hour being 6:30 p.m. on Monday, September 12th, 2022. I'd like to call to order the Brookfield Village Board meeting. Would everyone please join me in a pledge of allegiance to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Bridget, we have a roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Here.
Trustee Cote?
Here.
Trustee Hendricks?
Here.
Trustee Conroy?
Here.
Trustee LeClere?
Here.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Here.
And President Garvey.
Here. Thank you, Bridget. Under appointments and presentations, we have one item listed, but before we actually go into that, there was a little oversight. When I approved the agenda, I forgot to list it, but I had been teasing it for so long. But we are fortunate enough tonight to have Dr. Atkinson here, the new director of Brookfield Zoo, that wants to make a presentation to the board tonight. As I informed the board previously, myself and Tim were guests over at the zoo earlier this year and got a little bit of a tour and some information, an update, and a chance to meet Dr. Atkinson. And we wanted to reciprocate and have him come here and address the board and give us a little update on what it's been like for him getting in the big chair and some of the plans. And it's been a while since we met, so I'm sure there's even new updates since me and you first met and talked. So, Dr. Atkinson.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me here this evening. Good evening, President Garvey and trustees. I'm happy to be standing here tonight to give you a preview of what's new at Brookfield Zoo and provide a vision for the future of the zoo and our conservation and education programs. My name is Mike Atkinson, and let's see from a slide standpoint.
You might have to just turn it on from the side. It might be turned off at the present moment.
There we go. All right, so I took over for Stuart Strahl, who retired after leading the zoo for 18 years, and I began my own career at the zoo in 2008 as an associate veterinarian and moved into a role of vice president of clinical medicine, overseeing the zoo's medical care, our veterinary programs, and our animal health programs for the several thousand animals that call Brookfield Zoo home. I work also as an adjunct faculty member with the University of Illinois College of Veterinary Medicine. I've had the pleasure of training hundreds of veterinary students, interns, and residents through the university. For the past decade, I've also had the opportunity to serve as the zoo's leader of our conservation programs focused on marine ecosystem conservation in Peru, working primarily with Humboldt penguins that you can see there on the screen. Through these experiences, I've developed a great appreciation for the crucial conservation work that zoos engage in every day and their ability to inspire future generations of conservation leaders. Accredited zoos today play a very important role in society. We've evolved from being just a menagerie of animals on display for the public to complex organizations that focus on conservation of wildlife and nature. We provide our animals with excellent care with science-based animal care and welfare programs supporting that, educate local communities, preserve lands and waterways, advance science, and provide an engaging space for families to have fun. Throughout the history of CZS, we have led efforts to improve and raise the standard of care for animals housed in zoos and aquariums. Brookfield Zoo is the first zoo in the world to receive the American Humane Certified Seal. Many of you know American Humane is the organization that endorses motion pictures with the No Animals Were Harmed in the Making of this motion picture seal of approval. Their new certification seal for zoos and aquariums is a similar certification program that holds zoos to the absolute highest standards of care. Our state-of-the-art animal hospital is one of the top facilities of its kind in the country. And then to encourage optimal health and welfare through diets, the Society also has established one of the first nutrition science departments in a zoo that is staffed by a full-time zoo nutritionist, where we custom make diets and monitor the nutrition of each animal at the zoo. Animals in modern zoos receive the best animal care that there is. Our animals are comfortable, our animals are happy, and our animals are healthy. Whether working internationally in remote areas of Peru or here in our own backyards in Cook County, I've had the pleasure to see our conservation programs in action. Animals are going extinct in the wild at an alarming rate, and zoos and aquariums around the world are leaders in the protection of threatened and endangered species. Our programs, such as the Sarasota Bay Dolphin Research Program, the longest running study of wild bottlenose dolphins in the world, are examining how human interaction can impact a wild species. Here at the zoo, we also participate in the Association of Zoos and Aquariums Species Survival Plan, a cooperative animal management, breeding, and conservation effort that works to ensure genetically diverse animal populations that are self-sustaining for the hundreds of animals whose wild habitat is being threatened by human interactions. As an institution that draws nearly 2 million visitors each year, we have a tremendous opportunity to inspire many of those people to become engaged in conservation work at the zoo, within their local communities, and across the globe. The society touches the lives of hundreds of thousands of people annually through our community-based education programs, our inclusion programs. We lead outreach and education initiatives that serve Chicagoland's diverse neighborhoods and suburbs, and foster the development of science skills and conservation awareness that will ensure that today's children develop an emotional connection with wildlife, nature, and the world around them. This is truly a very exciting time for the Society as we continue to implement the goals and objectives of our last strategic plan, as well as reimagine the future of animal habitats and guest facilities at Brookfield Zoo, as we begin to embark forward on a new master planning process that will lead us towards our centennial celebration in 2034. We believe that this next chapter will bring renewed energy and vision to the zoo, while also maintaining the Society's phenomenal track record of providing the best possible care for our animals. First up on our site planning process will be the reimagining of our primate exhibit, Tropic World. While that building was revolutionary when it opened 39 years ago, the structure no longer provides the optimal welfare situation for our great apes, and we are currently deep into the process of designing new facilities for our gorillas, orangutans, and many of our monkeys that will provide new indoor day room spaces, bedroom spaces for our gorilla troop, and expansive outdoor habitats for gorillas, orangs, and other primates. We're tremendously excited about this project that we've now moved through the schematic design process and are looking to get underway here within the next year. Pinniped Point, which houses our sea lions and seals, as well as historically our walruses for the past 30 years, is also in need of significant care and attention, as well as our dolphinarium, and these will be points of discussion as we move forward into a master planning process later this year. As we plan for these larger changes in the park, we're also planning a number of smaller updates, and many of these are already underway, looking to revitalize some of the areas of the zoo, including the nature stage, which you can see there on the left, which will enable our guests to encounter our animal ambassadors up close and personal, as well as add some new activity near the north gate of the zoo. And soon our guests will also have the opportunity to view new local species within the Hamill Family Nature Plaza near the south gate, including many local animals that are found here within the Chicagoland region, including sand-hilled cranes, prairie chickens, kestrels, box turtles, Blanding's turtles, and other animals that were involved with conservation program work around. Our engagement here at the zoo extends beyond our borders, and we're grateful for the partnership that we have with the Village of Brookfield. In Brookfield alone, we have nearly 2,000 member households, which represents roughly 26% of the village's total households. We also employ over 50 full-time and part-time employees who reside within the village. Nearly 600 students and teachers visit the zoo each year on free field trips, and 5 of our high school King Conservation Science Scholars live here in Brookfield. Our communities and nature team is frequently out and about in Brookfield. They recently helped the Brookfield Library establish its new pollinator garden and interpretive signage, and surprised the library with a newly refurbished Woolly Bully. This year, the zoo has led 3 workshops for teens and adults at the library focused on connections between seeds, plants, and the origins of our food. The zoo team also helped find homes for over 100 tomato plants left over from a collaboration with the village and the farmers market in June. I'm happy to say many of those plants made their way to community gardens in Maywood, Blue Island, and West Inglewood, where they are flourishing and helping to stock local community food pantries. We were also happy to host hundreds of Brookfield Parks and Recreation campers for free visits to the zoo this summer, and as well as the local Chamber of Commerce for an annual after-hours mixer with Riverside and LaGrange Park Chambers. We collaborate with the village and several local businesses to advertise in our Gateways member magazine, which goes out to over 100,000 households throughout Cook County and near collar communities. This year, we're also proud to have a staff member on Brookfield's Economic Development Commission to help further the village's economic development and marketing efforts. And finally, I would like to take the opportunity to highlight an important countywide referendum that will be on the November 8th ballot and encourage everyone to vote yes for clean air, clean water, and wildlife this fall. On November 8th, Cook County voters will have a historic opportunity to protect our water quality, air quality, and wildlife habitat by approving a very small property tax increase of 0.025% that amounts to less than $1.66 per month for the vast majority of homeowners. The forest preserves of Cook County have nearly 70,000 acres and are one of the oldest and largest forest preserve districts in the United States. This referendum will provide cleaner water. The forest preserves protect land along our rivers, lakes, and waterways that filter water, keeping pollutants out of our waterways, and they also provide important flood mitigation and restored wetland areas. Provides cleaner air through restored natural areas that allow reducing health complications of polluted air. And whether you personally visit the preserves or not, this is something that all of us benefit from. The ballot provides opportunity to vote yes for protection of wildlife habitat and will restore up to an additional 35,000 acres of wildlife habitat within Cook County. And if the measure is successful, it also will create and sustain thousands of jobs in conservation, construction, education, and restoration, and other opportunities for county residents. Additionally, a small portion of the funds generated by this referendum will help maintain and revitalize aging infrastructure at the zoo, which sits on land owned by the forest preserves of Cook County. The referendum campaign has over 150 supporting coalition members, including businesses, labor unions, faith organizations, community groups, as well as Go Green Brookfield. So if you frequently use the Salt Creek or Des Plaines River Trail, or if you simply enjoy looking at restored native habitats as you drive through the village and surrounding areas, please consider supporting the forest preserves. You can donate or become an ambassador by going to voteyesforforestpreserves.org and encourage your friends and family to do the same. I'd like to thank you again for your support of Brookfield Zoo, and I'm happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Thank you very much for coming out tonight again. And you made me feel really old when you said Tropic World was built there when he was, because I remember when Tropic World opened and how exciting it was until you're 39 years old.
Yeah, and it's still an incredible indoor experience. It's something that we've wrestled with as far as the guest experience inside that building is still an impressive one. So we're looking to preserve that experience while also providing these outside spaces that we know are the best way to keep our gorillas and our orangutans in the best state of welfare.
And I'm glad you mentioned all the places where you've partnered with the community, because I mean, some of them are very obvious and visible and some are not, but you've everything from, with the Chamber of Commerce and the village and, the high school. I know you have a great relationship with the students at RB and having that close resource over there. And I know those are probably your future employees and staff members, a lot of them coming out of the zoo. So I think you're doing an excellent job there. And, like I said, when we met, it was a pleasure talking to you and, challenges. We talked about how, COVID affected the zoo and animals and how you had to move through that. And it seems like, based on what we've seen, with traffic being up and and I know you've had some great events, the concert seems to be very successful. So you seem to are getting back to normal with that type of thing. So.
Yeah, we're rebounding pretty well. Our numbers are still down a little bit compared to pre-COVID levels, which was interesting. I was at the Association of Zoos and Aquariums conference just last week, and that trend's being seen across the whole country right now. We're within zoos and aquariums and conservation parks, the numbers have not fully bounced back to pre-COVID levels. So we think we're still experiencing a little bit reluctance to sort of a true normal state, but we're doing everything we can to get there.
And I know we saw the measures that you've taken over there, and the staggered entrance times, everything helping with the traffic and just, limiting the number of people in the zoo. I think that has raised the comfort level for a lot of people, going forward. So my compliments on how you adapted to that real well, so.
Thank you. We will be keeping that timed passage ticketing through the holiday season as well, as that worked really well for us, and I think alleviated a lot of the traffic problems
Right.
that we had seen previously that we discussed. So.
And the bridge will be open soon, Tim said. Sorry, Tim. Traffic flow will be even better for Holiday Magic and the other things going on as Tim continues to work on the bridge every day. So. Do any
That'll be later.
do any of the board members have any questions or comments?
I would just like to recognize Jennifer Baader's efforts and her efforts. I know you guys are an easy, quick target for just about every organization of putting something on, and Jennifer's been great that even if the request is beyond what she's able to do, to come back with something and find an avenue to yes and to offer some form of support. And so she's been great to work with in that respect. So I just wanted to pass that along and thank her for those efforts.
Thanks for sharing that.
Anyone else?
Thank you.
We have some members of the public here today. Is there anyone that would like any questions about the zoo, Doctor? I mean, you might be here for other reasons, but we have Dr. Atkinson, the director of the zoo here. Anybody have questions, comments about the zoo?
You're doing a great job. Keep up.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Appreciate
Clark. Okay. Well, thank you very much, and I know you'll want to stick around for at least another minute or two because as Trustee Conroy mentioned, I mentioned you before the meeting, we thank you for sharing Jennifer with us. I know she wears many hats by you and does a lot, but she signed up for one more hat, and she was already voted on and approved by the village board to serve on our Economic Development Commission, further highlighting the close relationship that we have and the economic ties. But we wanted to swear her in publicly tonight. So, Jennifer, if you wouldn't mind coming forward to Bridget.
Hi, Jen. Raise your right hand. I, Jennifer Baader,
I, Jennifer Baader,
having been appointed to the office of
having been appointed to the office of
Economic Development Commissioner
Economic Development Commissioner
in the village of Brookfield,
in the village of Brookfield,
in the county of Coke,
in the county of Cook,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of
the office of Economic Development Commissioner
the office of Economic Development Commissioner
according to the best of my abilities.
according to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Again, thank you very much, Jennifer. Appreciate it. And you're free to stick around for the rest of the meeting, but I know you've got a busy schedule, especially with other meetings in the referendum, so we won't be offended if you don't stick around, but you're welcome to, so, thanks. Okay, at this point in the meeting, I will open it up to public comment. Is there anyone on the right side that would like to make any public comment at this point in time? Hearing none, is anybody on the left side? Okay, hearing no public comment, I will move on to reports of special committees. Trustee Cote, please.
I would like to make a motion to approve corporate warrant dated September 12, 2022 in the amount of $1,244,003.12.
Second.
The motion was made by Trustee Cote, second by Trustee Kaluzny. Are there any highlights, Trustee Cote?
Yes, $7,000 towards the Des Plaines River Trail extension. $375,000 was for the Brookfield North Riverside Water Commission. And $26,000 with the recent flooding and the raining, et cetera. $26,000 covered 8 different flood mitigation refund projects that we've been pushing through. So that's really good news that people are taking advantage of that program.
Do any board members have any questions or comments on the warrant? Okay, hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Conroy?
Aye.
Trustee LeClere?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Regards to DPW, as you can tell, the LED upgrade in Village Hall is about 90% complete, so it's very bright in here. The Ellert Park upgrade is scheduled to start next week. for the LEDs. I would also like to thank DPW for their work in relocating the memorials from Memorial Circle to Veterans Park. They did a very good job in doing this. It looks really good. If you have a chance to go to Veterans Park, you may notice that one of them is damaged. That happened during an accident earlier this year where the car struck that memorial, but that is being replaced. That'll be replaced as soon as it can be. And you may notice that there is one other memorial that's dedicated to the circle. That is scheduled to go back to the circle at the appropriate time during the construction phase. Regarding the library has extended their paver program, and they're set to install pavers. They will set to install these pavers in March of 2023. You can see that on their website. There are still other opportunities, such as sponsoring a bench, or there are several trees as well. So if you go to visit the Brookfield Library website and click on Donate for more information, you can find out the information on the different pavers and trees and benches. With the ever-expanding Spanish-speaking community in Brookfield, the library has also expanded their information to be offered in Spanish. They are offering much of their literature now in Spanish. You can get this literature at the library, or you can visit the farmers market, and they have a table there, and you can see the other literature that they have. On Saturday, September 24th, the library is holding a STEAM Fest for science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. Please come check that out. There are going to be multiple activities such as 2-liter rocket launches, Maker Studio demos, virtual reality, and then a mad science fire and ice show. Fire and ice show. It'll be fun, I guess. Rockets and everything. This past week, I'm a member of the VFW here in Brookfield. This past week we had our meeting, and they wanted me to pass this information on. During the VFW meeting, it was mentioned how appreciative that the VFW has been regarding the growing relationship that they have with the village and the developing relationship they've had with the Village Hall, the Village Board, and how they've been sought out for direction and input on all the projects, such as Memorial Circle, the Veterans Park, the KIA Memorial, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, Mental Health Awareness Month. They just wanted me to pass that word on, how thankful they were, and we've established a relationship, a very good relationship with the local VFW, and they wanted to make sure that that was well known here. With this said, I would like to mention that that September is Suicide Prevention Month. If you or someone you know is struggling in need of help, please dial 988, or you can text 838-255. We have been working with a Forest Park Vet Center as well to bring in literature here to the Village Hall to make it available for everybody. PTSD is very real. You are not alone. There's estimated that we lose 22 vets a day, and over 60% of those that we lose are over the age of 50. The VA has a national coaching and care program. If you know somebody who needs help, they can call the VA. You can call the VA at 888-823-7458. They have professionals that will be willing to talk to you free of charge and fully confidential. If you know a veteran who is on verge of becoming homeless, please call 877-424-3838, and we may be able to help them save their home or find a new place for them to live. We would like to mention as well that PTSD is not just limited to veterans. It hits all walks of life: police, fire, medical, victims of abuse. There's no limit to who has PTSD. So please take a second. Do not be quick to judge others. You don't know what they're going through. And if you know somebody who needs help, please have them dial 988, and they can talk to somebody right away. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Trustee Cote. Trustee Conroy, Chamber of Commerce, please.
Yeah, Chamber of Commerce, farmers market's still going strong from 8 to 1 on Saturday mornings at Village Hall. 60 to Win is just about sold out. If you still want tickets, I'd reach out to Amy Weinert at Brookfield National Bank and see if she's able to get any, but I think they're very close to being sold out, and thank you for everyone who has purchased tickets. This is the Chamber's largest fundraiser, so they do a lot for the community, and so thank you for everyone who's participating in that, and wish you all luck. The first drawing it'll be start on Thursday the 15th at 4:30 at Joe's Saloon, and there will be a new drawing every Thursday thereafter. for the next 10 weeks. Those drawings you're welcome to attend live or watch it on Facebook Live. The Art Fest is also coming along very well. That's going to be September 17th at Kiwanis Park from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. They're expecting over 35 artists to be on hand. There will be food trucks, beer and wine will be available from Oak Brewery. And thank you to Abby Brennan for heading that fest up. We also have some new businesses coming to town, and September 24th is what we're tentatively looking at for potential ribbon cuttings, hoping to have 3 actually that day, one being at Vines and Vinyl on Prairie, which is a house plant and record store that will be opening up, and then right next door will be Warmwick Soy Candles, and then also the Good Times Barber Shop, which will be at the old Harps building there right at 8 Corners. So thank you to all those businesses and wish them luck, and looking forward to those ribbon cuttings tentatively on September 24th, and more info to come from the chamber on that. And then last but not least, there is a new event on October 1st, Dancing with the Chamber. So that is going to be a new event held at Riverside Brookfield on October 1st from 7 to 9 p.m. and where there will be multiple local business owners and semi-celebrities that will be have been training with the professional choreographer, and there will be a dance contest. And participating will be Abby Snow from Brennan Massage and Spa, the Fleetfoot Chuck Hitzman from Hitzman Funeral Home and Cremation Services, Jason Ballman from Boxless Media, Annette Pardoon from Fill My Jar, Mary Vasquez from Mary's Morning Mix-Up, and Dr. Hector Freitas from RB, the principal, and Mike Dorr from A Sound Education, Chris Borzum from Betty's Flowers and Gifts, Doug Fiala from Douglas Auto Body, and Aaron Pasek from Beach Avenue Barbecue. So it's my understanding those tickets are going fast, so if that's something you're interested in on October 1st, please grab those tickets because they do have a maximum capacity of, I believe, 652 tickets, and most of those have sold. So it should be an interesting evening nonetheless. So, and that concludes my report.
So are we saying that somebody from Betty's Flowers is dancing and it's not Trustee LeClere?
Yes, you are. Yeah.
I'm just double checking there.
It sounds like a great event. There's a lot of smack talking going on already on social media about who's going to win, so it should be a very fun night. The judges got their work cut out for them. It's going to be a tough contest to judge, I know. So thank you to the chamber for that and all they do within the community. Trustee Hendricks, anything on planning and zoning?
Yes, Planning and Zoning Commission met the 25th and discussed the text amendment for temporary use and event permit. Some questions came up from the public during public comment, a couple of business owners who own food trucks and questions about how those uses would be affected by this new permit. They were very valid questions. Some great discussion ensued, and the commission decided that this was a fantastic step forward, but it needs more work, so a continuance was recommended. So that will not be coming back to us for a bit yet, while staff takes another look at that. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Hendricks. Trustee Ketchmark, anything on administration or economic development?
The next meeting of the Economic Development Commission will be next Wednesday, September 21st at 5:30 p.m. Right here in the Village Hall. With the agenda focusing on the commission reviewing the strategic plan, the village's strategic plan, as well as identifying their priorities for the upcoming year. And I will report on that at our next meeting.
Thank you, Trustee Ketchmark. Trustee LeClere, Parks and Recreation, please.
Yes, we haven't met since our last meeting. Our summer concerts, our summer events are kind of coming to an end. We do have one last Music on Grand, September 24th, and then our fall and winter events will kind of go from there. We do have our next meeting is next Tuesday, the 20th, 6:30, right here in the courtroom, and that ends my report.
Thank you. And as just a brief add-on, the overhaul tournament is going on. The lost track is the 56th or 57th. It's going on right outside. They were supposed to play yesterday, and some of the games got pushed back. So there's, if you step outside after the meeting, there probably will still be games going on. It's scheduled to go through Saturday or possibly Sunday this week with the rain delay. So if you want to get out and see the historic overhaul tournament, it's right outside our doors here. Trustee Kaluzny, Conservation and Beautification.
Thank you. Conservation Commission is hard at work putting final touches on Meet the Creek, which is also September 24th, a very popular date for lots of things happening in Brookfield. And that's from 12 until 4. There's a lot of great, there's a food truck, there's activities, there's a nature scavenger hunt, you can look at fish, all the things, and try yourself at a kayak too if you haven't done that before. So that'll be from 12 to 4. I'm really looking forward to that. And their next meeting is September 27th at 6:30 p.m. here at Village Hall. The Beautification Commission, they're working on final details for Project Nice, which will be October 15th at 8:30 a.m. So if you're looking to volunteer and do a cleanup of different spaces around town, they'll have a sign-up Genius link going out where you can register in advance for a specific spot, or you can show up that morning and pick a spot, and we'll match you with the place that, needs the most love. And their meeting is scheduled to be tomorrow, the 13th at 6 p.m. They're having a little bit of issue with getting a quorum for tomorrow, so that may be postponed and scheduled for a new date. Hopefully I'll know later tonight. And that ends my report.
Thank you, Trustee Kaluzny. Just to update regarding the Solid Waste Agency and the WCMC, we were scheduled to meet this Wednesday for our executive committee meeting for the Solid Waste Agency, but we've made it, that meeting's going to get rescheduled. It became public and it was announced today that Neil James, who has served as the executive director for the West Cook County Solid Waste Agency for the past 7 years and has been with the WCMC for over 20 years, was just named today as the new executive director of the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus. Dave Bennett, who was the longtime director, retired earlier this year, and while I'm very happy for Neil moving on to this new position, he's going to be, it's a big loss to the Cook County Solid Waste Agency that I've worked with him very closely, and his work with the WCMC, but it's a kind of a bigger and larger calling, and he's got big shoes to fill. Dave Bennett did a great job with the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus, but Neil's going to be getting up to speed and taking over that position on October 3rd. So we're using interim director Rich Pellegrino is going to help out with the Solid Waste Agency for the next couple weeks, and I'll be looking with the Solid Waste Agency board to get a new executive director on board and up to speed. So I just wanted to publicly congratulate Neil James on his new appointments. And we'll obviously be working with him through the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus, and our relationship with him will only help us even further. So that ends my report. At this point, I'd entertain a motion to pass the omnibus agenda.
So moved.
Second.
The motion was made by Trustee Conroy, second by Trustee Kaluzny. Roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Conroy?
Aye.
Trustee LeClere?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
The last thing, manager's report, Tim?
Thank you, President Garvey. Somebody mentioned a little bridge project going on. Well, it just so happens I have an update for the board tonight on the bridge. As you may have noticed, there's progress out on the bridge. A lot of the heavy equipment is gone. A lot of the spoils that have been sitting along Brookfield Avenue for about 2 years has now been pushed back into the foundations of the new earthen walls that are there. So I think that it's safe to say the dirtiest of the work is done. All the earthwork is done. The foundation work is done. On Monday, this coming Monday, they are scheduled to have the beams, the precast beams are going to be delivered, and over the next several weeks installed. And then they actually start building the bridge, the road deck, and the rest of the features should be completed by early to mid-November. So it's barring any other strikes or any other acts of God that will probably hit. Now that I've said that, this project should be wrapping up by middle of November. That's all I had.
exciting news. I know they've made a lot of progress in the last couple weeks, and it looks much better out there. And I know we're all excited to get it done. I'm sure there'll be some punch list and restoration work that might get pushed on to the spring, but I know it will be a big excitement for everyone when it's back open, so. Okay, that ends the items we have on the agenda for the board meeting. So at 7:04 PM, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn the board meeting.
So moved.
Second?
The motion was made by trustee Cote, second by trustee Hendricks. Roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Conroy?
Aye.
Trustee LeClere?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, we're adjourned.